money's on the screen tonight. Secrets out in plain sight. Luxury homes at half the price. Making dreams.
Hey, what's up you guys? So today's video is about the free healthcare. This is a common thing in Asset. I keep hearing that you know, we're not supposed to pay for other people's healthcare. This is really stupid in my personal opinion, because first of all, you are not paying for someone's anything. Like, even if you're being paid, even if you're being charged Medicare tax, it doesn't mean that whenever that money goes to budget, it goes back to other people's healthcare. If you would go through the budget spending, I'm looking at the US federal budget right now, about 62% of spendings were military spendings. How crazy is that? I mean, I still don't get why America needs to be world's policeman. There are countries like Canada and Australia, they don't police anyone, they just mind their own business. And they actually do live sometimes, I would not say Canada, but Australians, I'm pretty sure they live in very high standards of life. You know, I'm pretty sure that this military spending could be cut at least in half. I hope no one would want to kill me for this. No one will go after for me, but personally, that's what I would do. And then it's housing and community. It's about 7%, and only that 6% of budget goes to the healthcare. There's other breakdown here, because this is a graph that I'm looking at. 63% is mandatory, 30% is discretionary, and 8% is net interest. How crazy is that, guys? And there is also other budgets. Some of them are saying that 30% of the money is going to healthcare. But overall, I think there are some problems and misconceptions with the healthcare in America. First of all, those amounts that you guys are paying or being deducted from your salary, most of the time that's not enough for paying to anyone's healthcare, because the healthcare price in America are just outrageous. Blood work in most of the countries, and I'm not talking about the third world countries, I would say like B type of countries, like if you will compare to real estate, like a B type is not luxury, but it's not bad too. I mean, it's okay type of places. Blood work costs somewhere around like $50, I want to say. In the United States, it's 1,500 bucks on average. And this is crazy, and people charge that money because they know that the insurance company is going to pay this. There was a guy by the name of Martin Shkreli. He was also known as the most hated person in America, also known as Pharma Bros. So what he did, he became a billionaire on increasing the diabetes drugs, which is not nice things to do, but the problem is not with Martin Shkreli. The problem is with the insurance companies that overcharging the people. Now, there is a huge need for the bigger reforms in healthcare and insurance, but honestly, I don't think that the government will do it, because it's pretty much, you know, the industry that people are working, you know, they're making their money. But in a longer perspective, if there would not be a reform, it will just collapse. It will be something similar to 2007, because you cannot charge someone for blood work 1,500 bucks and then pay for the medical worker a salary of, I want to say, like $50 an hour, and then, you know, profit 1,500 bucks just, you know, because you did facilitate that blood work. Most of the world, if you would travel, and again, I have a huge experience, I've been to about 30 different countries, do offer free healthcare. Germany does offer free healthcare. Switzerland does offer, I believe, free healthcare. England does offer free healthcare. Canada does offer free healthcare. Now, I'm not saying that it is good. No. However, I have lots of friends who are medical employees in Germany, and what they did is amazing. First of all, it's fully government subsidized, so there are no medical insurance companies that are making crazy profits from this healthcare businesses. But they also imported lots of medics from all over the world. If you go to Germany, from out of 10 doctors, only probably 2 or 1 would be German. Most of them are immigrants, and they're doing really good job. I think this is definitely something that the United States should be implementing. I talked about it in my different other videos. It's really hard to implement, I understand that, but it is necessary. It will bring the cost of healthcare low, and the waitings are crazy. I had a bladder stone last year, and luckily it was not painful, but I remember I went to doctor, told me that I need to wait 3 months just to see him. How crazy is this? 3 months? Luckily we live close to Mexico, and luckily it wasn't hurting, so I just waited. Imagine if someone cannot go anywhere. The only option would just go to emergency, and emergency will charge 10 times of what normal doctor would charge for that. With all this waiting, even in emergency, when you go to the emergency, it's probably like 2 hours waiting. Like you lose at least 1 day when you go to emergency. Now, I'm not complaining. Obviously, there are places with much worse situation. I'm thankful and grateful for having this type of medical care. Overall, I think it could be much better. Probably just with a small reforms. 100% insurance companies have to lower their prices. It cannot continue like this. It just will ruin the budget of everyone. Thank you for watching, and I would like to mention that this video is sponsored by my company. We help landlords to maximize their rental income. Normally, we take the property, say it's been rented for $3,000. We'll help landlord to make about $5,000 and charge about 10% from the profits. This is what we do. If you guys interested, if you're a landlord and looking for that company that would help you with getting more rent, just letting you guys know, I'm also a realtor in California. Any part of California you're looking for real estate, property for yourself, live with a family, or for investment, I'm your guy. Feel free to hit me up in the DM. And in California, average insurance for family of 4 is somewhere around $500, which is crazy because average people get a salary of $5,000, $6,000, and they pay almost, let's say, 70% of it to their mortgage. Say like 2 people work in the same family. They're making about $12,000. They're paying at least $4,000 to $3,000 to their mortgage, insurance, and everything else. And then they're left with spendings for their kids, gas, insurance, and then they have to buy medical insurance, which is another burden. Honestly, I think the prices should go down, and it will just help everyone, while having insurance companies still making money. Other thing is, why it has to be free? Because it's a human right. I mean, if people, I remember my friends were telling me that before Obamacare, there was no pretty much insurance for people, and they used to, die on the street sometimes. I mean, we're living in the 21st century. Come on, guys. Like, with all this abundance in America, with all this money, you would just let someone to die in the street. I mean, I don't understand that. I'm okay paying this medical tax, honestly, because it's not that much too. But other thing is, personally, is big concern of mine is drugs.
They have criticized the human rights record, the number of executions, for instance.
They may believe that if you're kind to drug traffickers, you get a better society. In America, they're changing their minds and they're sending people back to death row. In Singapore, before you land, their hostess or the steward will announce that there are very heavy penalties if you're found with more than a stated number of grams of certain prohibited drugs. And if you still come in with a few kilos of them, which will destroy hundreds, thousands of families, one death is too kind, because you're killing that family every day for years and years and years, that a daughter or a son.
Some people are saying that it's okay to use, for instance, it's actually ruined the city of San Francisco. I was there about 4 or 5 years ago, and people were shooting heavy drugs right on the street. The drug dealers were trading the drugs in front of the cops. And I don't blame the cops, because they're getting the salary of, max they get is like $10K a month. Who would want to risk their life? Who would want to die for $10K a month? Obviously no one. It should be not legal, and there should be serious penalties for this. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you would have a free healthcare or not free healthcare. People will keep that. Just go to this channel called Soft White Underbelly. You will see so many ruined destinies of innocent people who were just, exposed to this or other way to drugs. Even Grant Cardone, he used to tell that he tried drugs first time in a public school. Whenever it's easy to get something, guys, actually I read in the news yesterday, 2 middle school kids were hospitalized because of marijuana overdose. Even marijuana, I think it's still a drug. I mean, obviously you don't have to jail people because they smoke, but there should be some precautions. You cannot just sell it like a cigarette left and right. Even cigarettes, I mean, just by telling people, hey, you will die out of cancer if you will use it for a while, it doesn't work always. But I believe we are moving towards that, and there are examples of countries like Singapore. And there is an interview of the Lee Kuan Yew, used to be a prime minister. Singapore used to be a third world country. They were so poor that they would not even afford to buy their own water. After this guy came to power, he was pretty much staying there in power for like 30 years, something like that. Singapore now is one of the top per capita earner countries in the world. I mean, the best living standards. And first thing that he did, first of all, he fought corruptions. And second thing he did was that he started to execute drug dealers. And he has a famous interview on YouTube, I believe. Why? He breaks down why he thinks that the drug dealers needs to be executed, because When you kill one person, you just kill one person. But when you sell a drug to the person, you kill the whole family.
According to Amnesty International.
Have they worked it out accurately? Per capita of what? Per capita of drug traffickers or per capita of population of Singapore? I am executing foreign drug traffickers. Let me tell you, the people who have been executed. Nigerians, because Nigerians are the most unlikely of drug traffickers in this Asian society. Dutch women traveling with African men. Dutchmen traveling with Chinese women. How do you calculate per capita? Per capita of Dutchmen entering Singapore or per capita of Singaporeans as against Dutchmen? What's Amnesty talking about? Do they know what's happening? Do they ask themselves, what would happen if we send them all to prison for 5, 10 years, and we'll have to make more prisons because there'll be such an endless stream of them. And this is, despite the death penalty, the rewards are so enormous that people are willing to risk it. And why not?
Well, that's a really important issue, and I think that honestly, I'm 100% solidar with him on these thoughts, because the situation is getting out of control. Everybody sees that drug abuse is going out of hand in the United States, unfortunately, and if you would not do anything about it, it's not going to work. Hope you guys like this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a good one. Bye.
Game money's on the screen tonight. Secrets out in plain sight. Luxury homes at half the price. Making dreams oh so nice.